Okay, so on to our last award for the day, and that's to students, the future of our profession. So in this case, it's innovation by students. So the students submit an application for when they've worked with a manufacturer to achieve some outstanding results. And I have a passion for students as well. I lead the Apex Inland Empire chapter, and we have students at 6, if not more, colleges that are passionate about manufacturing and growing this industry. And I really want to thank and have a round of applause to Wally Brithaning, who donated scholarship funds to the winners that I'm going to announce in a second here. So let's thank Wally. So another reason, Wally, why your award was well deserved. It was the Harvey Mudd team of Charles Dawson, Ryan Haughton, and Lydia Sylla that won the Innovation Award, working with Laguna Clay Manufacturing Company. So come on up.
Hello everyone, I am Lydia. This is Charles, that's Ryan. We're the 2018 Riggs Fellows from Harvey Mudd College. The Riggs Fellowship is a student program at Harvey Mudd College. Over the summer, students go to a local manufacturing facility and undertake a project there. We actually undertook 2 projects over the course of our 10 weeks, and we're here today to talk to you specifically about our project at Laguna Clay. Laguna Clay is a local manufacturing facility that produces clay, glazes, and other pottery supply products. We were specifically tasked at Laguna Clay with overhauling their pottery wheel department. As you can see, at first, the department faced a number of challenges. The most important of these was that they were not actually able to meet their manufacturing targets. There were a few different things that were causing slowdowns in their production procedures. First, there was First, the workstations at Laguna were they were not specifically designed for the production of pottery wheels. And second, the procedures were spread out somewhat across the facility, which meant that a lot of time was lost as parts were moved from station to station. Third, the production process itself was focused on large batch sizes, which meant that a lot of work in process built up on the shop floor and that the lead times were very long.
All right, so now that we have an idea of kind of the initial state and the final state, we're going to talk a little bit about how we got from point A to point B, and more importantly, how we're setting up the company to continue past point B in a process of continuous improvement. We'll start at the system level and then focus down on some more detailed improvements that we made to the operations of Laguna Clay. The first challenge that we faced was working with the fairly large batch sizes moving through this department. Initially, the batch sizes were set at 36 units, which meant that there was a lot of clutter on the shop floor. It took approximately 9 days for each of these batches to make its way through the production process. So the first thing that we started to do at a systems level was to reduce that batch size, ideally down to 1 for single piece flow. So this involved creating a new production schedule that was based on the product mix we expected to see over the year at Laguna Clay, and was specifically tailored to meet their sales goals for the year. However, it's pretty easy to say that you should move to single piece flow, but it's a lot harder to make sure that the foundation is laid for that move to be successful. To help facilitate this move towards single-piece flow in the facility, we upgraded essentially every workstation in the assembly area in the pottery wheel department. This involved doing time studies, walking around the factory floor, observing the operators completing these assembly processes, and seeing how we can make their lives easier by moving all of the tools that they need into one place, putting all of the materials together, and creating a workstation that can help them be as efficient as possible with as few headaches throughout their workday. This is an example of one workstation upgrade that we completed. We completed around 6 of these upgrades, and on average, we were able to reduce process cycle time by 50% in each workstation. Overall, this led to an increase in the throughput through the facility by 156%, decreased lead time by 78%, and reduced work in process levels by around 85%.
So we made a number of machining and fabrication process improvements while we were at Laguna. One of the main breakthroughs we had was implementing a new set of aluminum soft jaws, and this allowed us to do multiple operations on the same setup, which in turn allowed us to reduce the number of lathes required to machine the parts from 4 down to 2. With this, we were able to create a new machining department that was right next to the assembly area. We designed it as a U-shape with the flow going clockwise or counterclockwise depending on the part being machined. We also implemented a new supermarket system with rolling carts. At the beginning of each day, the assembly area and the machining area would exchange their carts, and so prevented overproduction because the machinist would only replace whatever was used from the previous day. We also made a number of improvements to the fixtures and dies. This allowed for reduction in changeover and enabled the elimination of large batch sizes. So we threw a lot of change at the operators and management at Laguna, so we had to manage that effectively. We wanted them to take ownership of the lean methodology and paradigms. So we spent a lot of time talking with them. We held workshops that kind of illustrated the lean principles. One of the things we did was had an activity where we simulated manufacturing paper airplanes. And this kind of illustrated the counterintuitive power of small batch sizes and single-piece flow. There's also a tremendous amount of innovation and ingenuity already at Laguna Clay. A lot of the operators were proud to show us the improvements that they had made over the years. So we wanted to emphasize the principle of continuous improvement so that they would carry on the innovation in lean manufacturing even after we had left. Thank you for listening to our talk. I want to thank Brian Vencel, the CEO of Laguna, for being so supportive, Eric Vera, who helped us make this project possible, and to all the lovely people at Laguna Clay. Thank you.
All right, so if that doesn't get us pumped up about the future of manufacturing, I don't know what will. So we have, to wrap this up then, what I'd like to say is that we are poised for success in the Inland Empire, and it's up to us to take advantage of the opportunities ahead of us. We have students like those at Harvey Mudd that just won the Innovation Award by working with a local manufacturer. We have our other award winners, and we have lots and lots of innovation happening in terms of product and process and human capital and talent and marketing. So make sure you're submitting applications for next year. We want to continue to grow this. And I also want to leave us with this last thought here. If we were at manufacturing growth of 18%, and we take what Paul Granillo said earlier today, that we need to take this to new heights in the Inland Empire and scale up in terms of advanced manufacturing and develop a consortium. Imagine what we can turn that 18% into, something more around tenfold. And I think that's very doable, and with the innovation that we're doing here, we're going to see that happen in the next couple of years. So thank you.